Alright, hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Kagerou Daze Chapter 24, Brave Boy. Oh my goodness, it has been forever since they came out with a chapter. So the fact that I got a notification on my phone that there was a new chapter, I was like, oh my goodness. But this chapter was actually pretty good because we never really saw much of Seto we never really saw much of any of the people that were in the Kagerou Daze when they were little, like Seto, Kano, Kiddo, or Mary. Well, we saw some of Mary's side if you watch the anime. More than likely the people who watch the anime read the manga, so forgive me if I say anything that spoils. But in this chapter, we see the part that happens before Seto and Mary first met, which I believe is what's about to come up. But they show Seto, he's like running through the city, and I guess he's starting to lose control of his power, which his power is to read people's minds. Which is why previously he said he doesn't like using his power unless he absolutely has to, because he doesn't like pretty much invading people's privacy. He's like running through the city, and he's hearing all these horrible things that people are saying, like saying, "Go die, I wish you would just go away, blah, blah, blah." And it's like, I understand why he was so upset as he was running away, and he just said that he wanted to get far away from all of this, because how can people think this horribly about each other? And people really do think that horribly of each other, which is really sad. I'm happy that I can't read people's minds, because I would hate to hear what some people have to say about me. Well, I really wouldn't care, but that's neither here nor there. So he finally, he comes to, and he's like laying in the middle of the field, and all these animals are looking at him, which I probably would have freaked out too, as much as I love animals, but they were all staring at him, and he could hear them thinking, and they were like, it's a human. And as he was thinking about all these horrible insults and just horrible things that they were saying about each other, it's like out of nowhere he tries to talk to a beaver. Like, a beaver walks up to him and he says, "Hi, my name is Seto." And pretty much the beaver tells him to he's like, "Oh, it's just a gloomy looking brat." I would have kicked it, but that beaver looked creepy. Like, the picture of the beaver in this chapter looks really creepy. So Seto is just like freaked out a little bit, because even the animals are just hateful, and all of them were about to attack him, and then a moose, which all of them call Chief, came up out of nowhere and was like, "He still looks like a young human, blah blah blah, but if you do mean to do us any harm." And then this little cute hamster just comes up and he's like, "We'll have to take action." Like, oh, it's so cute. I want a hamster. I used to have one. That's another story for another day. But the hamster and the moose sees Seto's red eyes, and they're like, "Oh, so you're like the monster." So they decided that they were going to take him to where the monster lives. And they're like walking, blah blah blah. Seto's thinking like, "Oh, they call me a monster," and it felt kind of like he was reminiscing, because they used to call him, he thinks that they used to call him a monster behind his back when when all of them were still at the foster home. So that's neither here nor there. So they're all walking, and he steps on an anaconda of all things. He tries to attack him, and of course Chief and the hamster stop it, and they tell him to be more careful. So as they're walking, it's starting to get late, and they said that they're going to camp out. And Seto is still thinking, like, what about Kano and Ayano and Kiddo and everybody? Like, wouldn't they be worried about me? So, but he's still gonna stay out there because he wants to meet the monster. And the very last page was the hamster thinking about Azami, which is Medusa, or the mother of Shion and the grandmother of Mary. So the hamster was thinking, like, where are you and what are you doing now, Azami? So at this point, they have no clue what happened to Azami, or where she went, or why she left, because that was like decades and decades, probably even centuries ago, when Azami left, because they don't age. So the all of the animals are still wondering what happened to Izami. But that was the end of the chapter. This chapter was pretty cool. It's like leading up to how Seto meets Mary. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this works out. It feels weird like watching all of it and then going back and reading what should have been in the in the anime, but that's just my personal opinion. I do feel like the anime went by really fast. It could have slowed it down a bit and probably made it into about 24 episodes like a normal season, and it could have explained things more and given the characters more time to actually develop instead of rushing through everything. But hopefully they will put in what was left out in the manga. So I'm looking forward to reading the next chapter. Hopefully it comes out sooner than this one did, because it's literally been like a month, I believe, since the last chapter came out, or even probably even longer than that. So I would love to hear how you guys felt about this chapter. How do you think, well, you already know how things are going to turn out. Do you think that they should continue on with Makaku City actors instead of, well, since most people said that it is probably finished now, since they literally rushed through to the end, do you think that they should continue on and show other things happening? Maybe they should have a new enemy or something. But as always, please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.